I would like to invite His Excellency Permanent Representative Ambassador Peter Mohan Pieris from Sri Lanka. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I thank the People's Republic of China and the European Union for organizing this significant discussion on the sidelines of the 66th session of the Commission on the Status of Women. It is known that women are differently impacted by the degradation and loss of biodiversity because of the pervasive gender inequalities. Therefore, addressing the gender inequalities that restrict women's rights and access to and control over biodiversity and natural resources is essential for a gender-responsive implementation of the Convention on Biological Diversity. In this context, we welcome today's side event, which aims to assess progress and challenges related to the women's role in the conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity. In the developing world, women are often the main custodians of these resources. They are seed savers. They protect, cultivate, and use these resources in their daily lives. Furthermore, they tend to be the guardians of traditional knowledge associated with these dwindling genetic resources. Gender relations play an important role in the conservation of biodiversity, in part because men and women have different roles within the farming household. These roles, Madam Chair, carry with them different responsibilities in regard to a variety of selection and maintenance. Women in the developing world are predominantly responsible for management and conservation of resources for their families. Women spend vast amounts of time collecting and storing water, securing sources of fuel, food, fodder, and managing land, be it forest, wetland, or agricultural terrain. What then is the relationship between gender and environment? In fact, evidence reveals there's a correlation between environment and gender. Excellencies, since 2016, the Ecosystem Conservation and Management Project has helped Sri Lanka to improve management and resilience of its ecosystems to both conserve biodiversity and benefit communities. The project has supported integrated land use planning, helped to better manage forests, and modernize the sector's management capacity. More than 51% have received training and new earning opportunities through 59 community livelihood programs, while another 54% women living in communities next to protected areas have benefited from income generation activities. Amidst the prevalent pandemic in 2020, Sri Lanka has continued special programs targeted at empowering the economy of women, especially those who are living in rural areas. Now, this included a number of island-wide programs under the theme Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. The government of Sri Lanka has advanced its policy commitments to gender equality and women's empowerment, and is in the process of formulating a national gender equality and women's empowerment policy in line with its national development policy framework that aspires women and girls to be socio-economically and politically empowered. Distinguished delegates, Sri Lanka remains committed to taking consistent and sustainable pro-equality and pro-empowerment policies, learning from experience and best practices elsewhere. Women in Sri Lanka are active participants and stakeholders of the country's development agenda and continue to work shoulder to shoulder with men for the progress of the nation. In conclusion, I commend today's discussion on the best practices and lessons learned on women and biodiversity. I thank you.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Pieris. Next, moving on.